All right, before we get into some demonstrations, let's look at the must-have perk right here. It's going to be full throttle. So no matter what you're doing, you're going to want to get to full throttle to take advantage of what we're going to talk about. And then also, if you're running this against Tyrannid, you're running this one right here. And then if you're running this against Chaos, instead of taking this 10% on the majors, you're going to skip taking 10% on the majors and you're going to take 10% on the Chaos instead. So that's the only difference that you're doing if you're facing Chaos over Tyrannids. But let's get into some demonstrations of using the Chainsword. Alright, let's get into the Chainsword and the importance of full throttle. So full throttle perk, it's this right here. What you're never using is that. The only way you're using it is you're barely charging it to make your guy get into his backswing. So this is your backswing right there. So that is what happens when you barely charge full throttle. And that is going to allow you to get to every single one of your combos one attack early. So anything that you want to get to is going to be one attack early. So for the stomp, for example, you're going to get to it in 2 hits instead of 3 hits. It's going to look like this. So much faster to get to every single combination that you want to get to. So when you do swing with the full throttle swing, so like I said, that's barely charging it up and then letting it go. That'll get you right to your shoulder bash as well. It'll skip your kick, because this is basically telling the game that you're on your second attack, right when you get that backswing. So that's what you really want to practice at first, is just barely charging up full throttle and getting that animation right there. Because right when you can get used to getting this backswing down, that's when you can get to every single one of your combos earlier. Alright, so the next best way to get the stomp is I like to use, you know, that's the most effective way, the way I just showed you. So you're really going to want to learn to just use that as your first to hit at all times. You know, just use that as your first light attack, and then you can get to all your combinations earlier. But, you know, other ways are going to be from your sprint, and then using your sprint attack. Because once you use your sprint attack, at least you're going to get a little bit of a knockback, and then that knockback kind of gives you some a little bit of open room to get to your stomp as well. So those are some helpful ways to get to the stomp. But the Chainsword is just so powerful, and you know everybody likes it really, is because you get into what you want to do. Like every single one of your ending combinations are they're strong, and they're just like quick and to the point. There's no charging anything up. It's just bam, you're hitting it. You're either shoulder bashing, you're kicking, or you're stomping. The only thing that takes a while is if you go to this, and I don't really use these two too much. I'm always usually using the kick, the shoulder bash, and the stomp. So that's really why I think the sword feels so, or the Chainsword feels so good. Is just because when it's no nonsense with your finishing combo attack, with your finishing heavy attack. You know, it's just exactly right to the point, and it's fast. It does what it's supposed to do. It's going to cause a knockback. It's going to interrupt if you need to interrupt. So that's really why, you know, the ending combinations with the Chainsword are really one of its strongest assets that you can use. And then, like I said, you're going to be using full throttle to get to your stomp faster. So it's just a very powerful weapon in the game, guys. And it's honestly everybody loves this thing. And you know, I can't really knock it at all. There's a lot of good things about it. So I've had a lot of fun using it, and like I said, practice this full throttle right here. That's what you're going to have to get down, starting with your backswing. Because your backswing is going to open up everything else. So it's so fast that you can do that stomp. And you know, 2 hits to that stomp, that was like really one of the only drawbacks to this weapon, was getting to that stomp was 3 attacks. And having it 2 attacks is just, it makes a huge difference.